guys, this is Stormouse03, and this is my Witcher 2 Assassins of Kings Dark Difficulty walkthrough. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do in this episode is go ahead and get the next armor and weapons set. Been saving up a lot of money. I did a slight bit of farming of the harpies toward the end of the last episode and got a bunch of harpy feathers in conjunction with, you know, killing the queen harpy and all that good stuff. So I have quite a bit of cash at this point, a little bit over 7,500 orens, and that is definitely enough to be able to purchase all the things that I need. So I'm going to take off everything that I don't need to be carrying, and then I grabbed everything out of that chest. I just cut that out. There was no need to show it. And I'm going to be coming out here and crafting all the stuff that I don't have. So the things that you're going to need in order to make this weapon set are 7 amethyst dust, 2 blue meteorite ore, 3 diamond dust, that Draugr armor fragment that we got back at the beginning of this chapter, 4 essence of death, 18 hardened leather, 6 harpy feathers, 16 iron ore, 20 robust cloth, 14 silver ore, 20 studded leather, 5 timber, and 10 twine. And now remember that if you need to make the robust cloth, the hardened leather, or the studded leather, you're going to need to buy extra things like you'll probably need to buy some diamond dust to make the robust cloth, and you'll probably need to buy some oil in order to make the hardened and studded leather. So if you come to Felicia, the person who sells stuff right here, she will usually have a cache of oil, not ore, and sometimes she'll sell studded or hardened leather. If she does sell those things, I would say it's probably worth it to just buy them rather than have to buy a bunch of stuff to make them. But basically you're just going to buy what she has, buy all the oil she has, make your hardened leather and studded leather. When you run out of oil, run back into the pub and then go back out, and that will have reset her. So you'll be able to just keep buying oil and whichever type of leather she might have. And so once you're done, you come to the guy Mail right there, you buy your set, and you craft it. And then you're going to have the full Oathbreakers set there. And so you can equip that. You can put in some upgrades and attachments. So you can put on some runes. Some good runes to use are the moon runes if you are speccing toward magic like I have been, or signs rather, that ups your sign damage. The fire runes will add fire damage to your weapons, so those are pretty good too. If you have some of the Isgith, the ones that start with a Y, that will add to your damage output. So, but mostly I like to stick to the moon and fire. Those are the two that I like the most to put into my weapons, so I usually will put some on there if possible. Let's see. Sometimes these don't have that many upgrade slots, so like the steel sword only has 1 that I can see. So, and the silver sword looks like it doesn't have any. So you can put one, I think I probably put a moon rune in my steel sword, and then you can put on some of these armor attachments as well. You just want to make sure that you save the Bran armor attachment, because you might need to use that a little bit later on for a quest in Chapter 3. But feel free to put on this Elaine Bled, Dubled, Dwarven is good. If you have any magic wraps, if you are a sign user, that's good as well. And once you're finished upgrading as you want to upgrade, then you can continue on with this jolly ride. So now we're going to be doing the Baltimore's Nightmare quest. So I just wanted to go ahead and get this armor set because I feel like this was probably about as soon as I could get it, as soon as I had enough money and resources to be able to purchase everything that I needed. You could have gotten away with getting it a little bit earlier, just depending on, you know, how much money you were able to get from stuff that you were able to sell. But in any case, this gives us a good chunk of Chapter 2 to be able to use this upgraded armor and weapons set, which is great. When you come past this door right here, it will show you a little cutscene. That's where we saw Baltimore running in his dream that we saw from the magic crystal that we picked up in the last episode. And if you come up here and talk to Thorak, he'll talk about, you know, Baltimore doesn't live here anymore, he disappeared, blah blah blah, and how Thorak is now the main runesmith since Baltimore's disappearance. And he gives you the key to Baltimore's workshop. He says they haven't really been able to find anything down there, so you probably won't find anything, yada yada. But of course we are going to find something down here because we're a witcher, right? And obviously more capable of finding things than simple dwarven assholes. So you come down here, there's a lot of ore, mostly it's iron. You might be able to grab a silver piece or two, just depending on your random luck it's just what sort of items loaded in. And then you come to this wall right here, and it's a breakable wall. You can't break it with your sword, though, like I'm trying to, like a moron. What you need to do is follow the rules of this game and use Ard. And that crushes the wall just like that, and you'll be able to pick up Baltimore's Notes from this little chest right here. And so this is going to set this into motion. You'll have some of his notes that you can read, and they will direct you to a place where he left a cache of his stuff. So you want to come in here and read Baltimore's Directions, and you know, you can read this, but basically it's going to sort of tell you where to go. I know where to go because I've done the quest before, but if you sort of follow these directions to their end point, you'll be able to find his secret workshop, which is pretty cool. So as soon as you come out the door, Thorak is going to question you. He's like, I heard a rumble down there, because the whole town probably heard me knocking down that wall. And so you want to say nothing interesting, because you want to keep his notes and stuff to yourself, based on how this quest is going to play out. And in order to get a really cool sword in the last chapter, you're definitely going to want to not share this information with this turd. So I usually say just curious. Probably doesn't matter what you say there. And as soon as you get done talking to him, we're going to be following these notes. So I'm going to speed this up because it's just traipsing back through town, but I wanted to sort of show you where to go for this. So it said something about walking through the place with the ancient well, and that is going to be this place here. So it talks about walking through this area. I'm just picking up stuff right now, not following directions. And it says something like 20 paces, there was the well. You go through this archway, which is the next landmark. And then it talks about a signpost, and it says follow the middle way, which is right here. And then we're going to go all the way down to the bottom of the quarry. These harpies have probably respawned if you haven't dealt with them already. I haven't, because I knew I was going to be coming back through here, and I was like, well, might as well pick up an extra feather or two. Don't worry, I will be completing the harpy contract probably in the next episode. I can't remember exactly the order in which I did this stuff, but I think that it is going to be pretty soon that I finish that out. So I kept these harpies alive for a long time because I am a hoarder of loot, and I wanted as much loot as possible. And it benefits me to be a hoarder of loot in this game, because it helps me definitely have enough money to buy the things that I need to buy to make my life just a little bit easier on this difficulty setting. So anything that can make your life even slightly easier is a good thing, in my opinion. So there we go, kill all the harpies, loot all the corpses, get all the stuff. We're coming down to the bottom, and I remember pointing out a chest down here, and that's going to be our actual ultimate goal. In his notes, or his directions, he mentioned someone who met an unfortunate end or something like that. And if you remember, there's a body down at the bottom here, and that's sort of your landmark as far as where to go. And so he's sort of pointing, I guess, at the direction that you need to be looking. And so here is the chest. You use his notes, I guess, to open this. I guess his key also opened that chest. And you got the Runic Key out of it, which is cool. And if you remember back in the directions, the last line said something about at noon the drowned soul points its shadow at your goal. And so drowned soul, there's a shipwreck over sort of past where the troll couple lives, and that's where it's talking about drowned soul and pointing shadows and all that business. So we're going to make our way over there, come past our lovely troll friends, and if you look at your map, you can see there's a ship right there, and that's where we're going to be heading to. So if you ever just sort of lose track of where you are or get turned around or whatever, you can always look on your map and know that that is where you're headed at this moment in time. There's also something else there that you're going to be picking up to further another quest. And you could have gotten that earlier, but it makes more sense to do it, to me, to do all these things, at once, so that you're not back and forth multiple times. So here's our ship, and inside the ship is a chest. And so we're going to open up that chest, and that is part of the Mystic River quest. So you'll get another Vran armor attachment, and you definitely want to make sure that you keep that. Don't use it yet, and don't sell it, because you're going to want to use that or you might want to use that to finish out this Mystic River quest in the next chapter. So, not up there. The place where you want to go is actually, you look at where the front of the ship is pointing, and it's through these vines here to this door. And you have the Runic Key now, so it opens up for you. And so when you go into this area, there's going to be some stuff that you can loot, and once you loot the shiny, the thing that's sort of glowing, that's going to trigger a fight. So you want to make sure you have your steel sword ready, and you want to make sure that you have kin on, because you're going to be fighting some dwarves that have followed you down here. I like to just go ahead and loot everything else first. because that makes the most sense to me. There's really not a lot of other stuff down here. It's mostly just the stuff that's in this chest. And so we're gonna loot that. It's gonna trigger a little cutscene here, and lo and behold, the shady dwarf and his shady friends have followed you here. It turns out they were the ones who killed Baltimore in order to take over his place, and now they're going to try to silence you, but they're a little overambitious, I think. You know, they killed one guy who was a, runesmith craftsman type dude, and they think that just because they stabbed that guy in the back when he wasn't suspecting it, that they're going to be able to kill a witcher. Stretching the imagination a little bit here, guys. Stretching the imagination. So I was actually able to use my heliotrope, which made that fight very, very easy. But if not, if you don't have that available, you can use your Igni sign is really good against these guys, and sort of doing what you always do against the non-monster enemies, just kind of rolling around, using kin, I guess, to take some hits if you need to, and making sure that you take them out with your upgraded now sword, which is very nice. And you'll pick up the diagram for hunter's armor, but pretty much none of the armors in this game are going to be better than the dark sets that you're going to get. So any of the diagrams for armor pieces and stuff, they're just not going to be as good. If you're not doing this on dark difficulty, that might be a viable option for you. And you're going to head back into town. On the way there, I wanted to show you this because I neglected to do it earlier, and I would suggest that you do this much earlier. You want to go talk to this elf, and she's going to offer to reward you, I guess, with some quote-unquote joy for saving her life. And if you say all right, you'll get a little scene that we're not going to show right now. And afterward, you want to talk to her again because she'll give you a key, and that will open up this shortcut here to go back and forth to the quarry. So if you find yourself in need of, to go back and forth there, which we have all throughout this entire time, this will be helpful to you, and it would have been helpful to me to unlock it much before now, but I don't know, I didn't remember that you could do that until that moment, and I didn't really care for that whole business with her, so not really a fan of cheating, and I see Triss as Geralt's girlfriend, and so I don't know, I just don't enjoy doing that, but it is something that rewards you with a nice little shortcut if that's your thing. So here we go, back to Cecil Burden's house. We let him know that we found out what happened to Baltimore and dealt with Thorak, and he's really happy that we, rid the town of some shady folks. And so he's going to give you a little reward for doing that. And don't worry, when you show him the notes, you will get them back and be able to use them in a quest a little bit later on, but that finishes up Baltimore's Nightmare. And you'll get your nice little chunk of XP from that. Alright, so that is the end of this section, guys. Oh, one more thing. You also get this sword right here, and I just wanted to show you that it is kind of comparable in stats to the Black Unicorn, the one that we got from the Oathbreakers set that we just picked up. And so if you haven't gotten this set of armor, that is a nice sword for you to use. So that is the end of this little section, guys. I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.